Seen him fight his last fight. He was tired in that 12-round span. Like, you could tell every time he fight, it's always like a gas tank problem or
love for anybody. But, you know, Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he gonna win, or oh, he gonna win. No.
Going there and they very obedient to Tank's power. And Lamont wasn't there that night. Lamont wasn't having it.
What's going on, fight fans? We're diving deep into the upcoming rematch between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, a fight that absolutely has to happen after the controversy of their first meeting. The opinions are flying from every corner of the boxing world. Some feel that Tank showed vulnerabilities, particularly with his conditioning, that could be exploited again.
Seen him fight his last fight. He was tired in that 12-round span. Like, you could tell every time he fight, it's always like a gas tank problem or...
Shakur Stevenson has directly advised Lamont Roach to reconsider stepping back in the ring with Gervonta Davis. Shakur describes Tank as the best in the sport, possessing a level of strength that is simply unmatched. He believes Davis has a unique ability to systematically break his opponents down, and is convinced that Roach won't get a second lucky break.
Chess match. I think it'll be a boxing match. People talk about his power. His power is great. You can clearly tell that
Your hardest matchup, Devin Haney, Tank, or would it be Ryan Garcia?
Nah, Ryan, just X him out. He's trash. It's gonna be Tank. I ain't say it before, but I'm gonna say it like me and him.
The visual evidence seems to back up these warnings. Recent training footage shows a Gervonta Davis who looks more chiseled and powerful than we have ever seen before. He's displaying a sharp focus and an intensity that suggests a new level of preparation. The legendary Roy Jones Jr. has also shared his thoughts, labeling Gervonta Davis a unique animal in the sport. While Jones acknowledges that the fight is difficult to call, he believes that Tank's raw power and natural talent will be the deciding factors.
Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach because we haven't ever seen him a lot. So he gets to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first few rounds. When they're in the pro round takeover, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet? Or is Tank too superior now as a pro? And that's where the difference will come in at.
Roach is coming up on weight. That, you know, a lot of people keep on saying that's a very big disadvantage for Roach. His power might not transfer to, you know, to this weight class. What do you got to say about that to the critics?
Well, I ain't really got nothing to say to the critic because most of the time they don't know the hell they talking about no weight, but I was able to carry my weight from 154 to heavyweight. You know how to do it right, then your weight, your punch will come to you. You don't know how to do it right, then yeah, you're going to lose your punch. So if he's a good, fundamentally sound fighter with a punch, he'll have a punch at 130 till he'll have a punch at 140. If he's not really fundamentally that sound, then he won't. That's why Tank is able to jump around. Tank fought between 130 and 140, whatever weight he wants to. Why? Because he's a great fundamental puncher. So his punch can be the same no matter what weight he got on. If you are fundamentally sound, that don't matter. But if you're not fundamentally sound, then yeah, when you move up the weight, you're going to lose your punch.
That's exactly what what I thought you would say. Like, you know, breaking that down and making understand that from 130, 135 to 140, I mean, you got to carry that power with you and how are you going to punch.
If you got fundamentals, you're going to carry automatically. I took it all with a heavyweight from a 20 middleweight.
Beyond his physical condition, Gervonta Davis is also making strategic changes. He has reportedly teamed up with a new trainer, a move that signals a fresh approach for the high-stakes rematch. This shift suggests he is breaking from his old routines to adopt a sharper, more refined strategy.
What's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Kevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the...
There is a widespread belief that the Gervonta Davis we saw in the first fight was not the best version of himself, whether due to out-of-the-ring distractions or flaws in his game plan. The consensus is that he underperformed. Now, with his professional pride on the line, Davis appears determined to correct the record.
Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas, and this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately, it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means, and that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it at Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you...
Boxing analysts and insiders have pointed out how uncharacteristically quiet Davis has been in the build-up to this rematch. While Lamont Roach has been active on social media and in interviews, Davis has maintained a very low profile. Experts speculate that this silence is a deliberate strategy.
And so we hearing that they got the fight set and scheduled, and it's going to be in Vegas, and it's going to be this August. So yeah, it's basically just been reported. And I'm not gonna lie, we knew it was gonna happen because they both said they down to do it. They both said they got to do the rematch because it was too close. All I'm gonna say is I'm hoping that boy Tank, because he been quiet lately. Lamont, you been yapping. Talking about you should have won. You keep dwelling on that little almost close win. That boy Gervonta, that Tank, he been... We ain't never seen Tank in this mode. I will say that Lamont, you're a very skilled fighter. But you should be nervous because we ain't never seen Tank like this. He's quiet. Like, he's literally hushed, bro. You just see him training. And now out of nowhere, he's like, hey, bro, we can set the fight up. That's actually dangerous. That's actually dangerous when you think about it. Like, dude ain't said a word. Even once the fight was over and press, he got the little hat on. He like, yeah, I mean, we could do the rematch. And he said it. I'm going to go in the gym and I'm going to train. I'm going to just be quiet and work. Good match to Lamont. I ain't going to lie. If I was Lamont, I'll be a little nervous. You ain't got to be scared, but I will be a little nervous because usually Tank, he the one that's like, yeah, don't bring your moms to the fight. Don't bring your peoples to the fight. Dude been real hush-hush lately. I'm not going to lie, y'all. They said the fight set up for August. I might have to go to this one in person. And August is my birthday month. I might have to go to this one in person, bruh. Because this right here, at this point, they're rivals now. This is like the perfect boxing story. They come from the same side of the the mat, come from the same gym and camp. I'm not gonna lie, they've been at it since they was kids. This like the perfect boxing story, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. We might have to be in there in person. But like I said, y'all already know how I go. When it come down to it, I'm putting my money on my boy Tank. Lamont, you definitely are skilled, and I'm going into this fight knowing that basically I know you gonna put up a good one, but I got my money on Tank. We ain't never seen Tank like this, bro. Dude quiet, and he ain't saying nothing. The fight just got booked.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back in his assessment, calling the rematch a critical, must-win fight for both competitors. He believes there is no clear favorite and that both fighters will need to execute their game plans flawlessly. Hackett warned that any small error could completely derail Davis's chances, emphasizing that there is absolutely no room for mistakes or ego in a fight of this magnitude.
On in Tank's camp and, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't that night. Lamont wasn't having it. And he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the the taking a knee, etc.
This would be the night we have to see the most focused TV. Because if he's not the most focused, then he gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night, and you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for, and he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Former champion Mikey Garcia provided a thoughtful take on the rematch. He noted that Davis has a history of learning from his past performances and expects him to enter this fight better prepared. While Garcia praised Tank's high ring IQ, he also delivered a serious warning, stressing that none of those skills matter without complete mental clarity.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and then he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows? Maybe
it turns out Marcus Pacquiao.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you know, you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight. Shit, he'll get a third fight.
Right.
You know?
Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that edge?
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. If you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
It seems like a lot of fighters going through stuff and they get in there.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him do it, let him.
Kenny Ellis, a longtime coach for Davis, offered his response to the training clips coming from Roach's camp. He acknowledged Roach's hard work, but was quick to point out that looking good in the gym is entirely different from performing under the lights in actual combat.
A different Lamont Roach coming into this fight?
No, I don't. I tell people all the time, no offense, no, this is not a Lamont Roach, but a fighter can do everything in the gym, man. They can do their push-ups, their pull-ups, they can run 10 miles a day, they can eat their diet, they can change their diet, they can do everything right, but it have to be in your DNA to take pain. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing and able to take the pain that come with this shit? That's for any fight. You know?
Right.
And that's the difference in a lot of the fights. You gotta be willing to take the pain that come with it.
Now,
in the actual fight, not the training, in the actual fight.
In the actual fight. What's the difference between, you know, the pain inside the gym gearing up to the fight versus the lights and you know, being on Showtime?
No, the workout pain, muscle sore, fatigue, that's different, but
it prepares you for those lights.
But that pain in the actual fight, man, when shit get rattled, your eggs get scrambled, your eyes get blurry, fucking mouth and nose gets fucked up. You know, a little bit of everything, body shots. You just gotta be willing to take the pain and come with it. You know, getting your equilibrium every other.
Ever since the controversial conclusion of their first fight, fans have been relentlessly debating who truly deserved the victory. Some are convinced that Roach did enough to get the nod, while others argue that Davis still held the edge. This rematch is seen as the only way to find clarity.
The rematch gonna happen at this point, because I'm not gonna lie, for it to be a whole month later and y'all still arguing over who actually won, it's just really like, okay, yeah, run it back, because we gotta go ahead and settle this, squabble this up. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say neither fighter in here is shitty, okay? Because after the fight I seen on March 1st, Yeah, they both was tagging shit. Both getting up with each other, okay? I feel like this is the perfect match. If anybody's gonna do a rematch, you need to be down, period. And Gervonta was stinging him. I'm not gonna lie, he was stinging him. Great fight for him. But I'm not gonna lie, he came out knowing what he was trying to do. Y'all have to give it to him. Like, y'all just be hating, okay? Y'all can't get in the ring and fucking fight. Y'all just be hating. At least I'm giving them no pay props, okay? Because Gervonta had a great fight. Don't get me wrong. My money was on him. But I think what messed him up was the fact that when he came out, y'all know he usually be 2 steps ahead. He was 3 steps ahead. I feel like he already had Tank figured out. And he definitely was not expecting that. And him, on the other hand, I think he came in really having something to prove. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like, it was a really good fight, and I feel like this is how I see it. In the beginning of the fight, he was stinking, back to back, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the fight, that's when he finally kicked it up. But I seen consistency through him through the whole fight. I'm not gonna lie, like, so I just feel like the rematch should happen because never know. He might, now that he was 3 steps ahead, become 8 steps ahead, and he might really knock his butt down. But at the end of the day, it's like, we need this rematch because I don't think this is ever going to be a dispute that is settled and, you know, officially he won, he lost until they fight. Like, we got...
The stakes for this rematch are even higher for Gervonta Davis. A second consecutive fight without a decisive victory could significantly impact his legacy. One controversial result can be explained away, but another one could create lasting doubts about his place among the sport's elite.
Cause I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the eternity on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. Well, they put up a good fight, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Cause exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half, so what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though because you just see so much demolishment from one and then for it to flip to the other and it just had your mind like, what? Just really had your mind blown. Like, what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision of the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely went off of just a personal opinion of the person, a history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank did really show him something at the second half, I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. If you know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's a flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. Now I know these two got a vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch.
Hinting at the changes being made, Coach Kenny Ellis has suggested there are big shifts happening within Tank's camp ahead of this fight. While he remained guarded with the details, his words imply that something significant is underway behind the scenes. Ellis has promised that this fight will be different from the first, building even more mystery.
What do you see?
Both of them, like I said, they both at, you know, top of the game. I see a competitive fight. Nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
I want to know what you all think. Who are you picking in the rematch and why? Let me know your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming fight analysis. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.